Ooh, fancy schmancy. Am I underdressed? Well, if we were in one of those beautiful old Victorians in Cape May or San Francisco, then I guess I would feel underdressed, but this is Walt Disney World, so not so much. There will, however, be a royalty there, but I guess they'll be okay with it. We're headed towards the Conservatory Buffet. What? Well, that's what the building plans called it. Oh, okay. Then it's off to Southern Air. What? That was just a pre-opening name? What is it now? Oh, okay. 1900 Park Fair. And no, the entrance isn't in the lobby this time, but it has been before. And you can even see it on some of the older lobby maps online. We've never actually stayed at the Grand Floridian, so we've got limited exposure to the food choices here. As a matter of fact, here we've only eaten at the Grand Floridian Cafe a couple of times with mixed results. They tell me that the Grand Floridian is modeled after the Mount Washington Inn in New Hampshire and the Hotel del Coronado in California. But I think that's just a coincidence. Passing through the lobby, we head to the northeast corner and the hallway that leads us past the Sandy Cove gift shop and down the hall towards the grill. If we headed out to the southeast corner, we'd end up at the beach where the music video for the Beach Boys' Kokomo was filmed with none other than Uncle Jesse, John Stamos, on the bongos. At the end of the ramp, you just make a hard left to the understated entrance to 1900 Park Fair. In the foyer, they had an Easter egg with Cinderella's slipper on display, but then there's a couple of Prince of Horses. It seems like they really can't settle on a theme, and it's more like Cinderella and Prince Charming approved a place for the commoners to eat. When you enter, you can't help but notice Big Bertha, the carousel band organ that dominates the far wall. Bertha plays right into the carved horses and others around the dining room, and making it more like a carousel. Where I grew up, my grandmother's neighbor collected old-timey music machines and restored them. So many that he ended up opening a museum for his coin-operated music machines and his collection of antique cars. Most carousel band organs were built in Germany from the early 1910s to the 1920s. These organs were the centerpiece of every carousel on the boardwalk in every Jersey beach town at the beginning of the last century. So it makes me wonder, with Big Bertha and the carousel horses, are we at Cinderella's, Mary Poppins, or the Jersey Shore? I thought that was over at the Boardwalk and Beach Club resorts. They even have a Cape May room there. And while I'm at it, since there are a camel and a rabbit, it wouldn't be a carousel, but a merry-go-round. Carousels only have horses. Historically, they also go different directions, but that's another time and another video. But let me just make a note about that. Anyway, we had reservations, so shortly after checking in, we were escorted to our table by Keith, also from Jersey. He seated us at a table for two in the center of the room on the far side of the room from the buffet.
Yeah, we can go this way.
Oh, yeah. Looks good so far.
Oh, and by the way, it's loud. Like, I don't know, boardwalk loud? It's not a place for intimate conversation, but there are very few restaurants on Disney property that are.
Alrighty. Perfect.
Victoria and Albert's restaurant has been a AAA 5 Diamond Award-winning restaurant for the past 20 years, as well as Forbes 4 Diamond Award winner. But 1900 Park Fair? Well, let's just say they aren't under any pressure to maintain their AAA rating, and I don't think anyone from Forbes has ever visited this place. Because this place is about characters, not cuisine. And there are a bunch of characters, that is. The place is usually full of little girls dressed in their favorite princess dresses, anxious to meet Disney royalty. Breakfast alone, you get to meet Mary Poppins, Alice and the Mad Hatter, along with Tigger and Winnie the Pooh. Tea time brings around Alice and the Mad Hatter again, and it's a proper tea time for kids with what Disney describes as the tea tasting remarkably like apple juice. We went to dinner where we met Cinderella and Prince Charming, but we also got to meet Cinderella's misunderstood stepmother, Lady Tremaine, and her two adorable stepsisters, Drusilla and Anastasia. Character encounters are great all around, but to be honest, we probably had more fun with Cindy's stepsisters. They've got it, and they flaunt it. Well, kinda. When you eat a character buffet, it's hit or miss. Compare Chef Mickey's to Tusker House. I tend to like breakfast buffets best, but breakfast is so early in the day and can be a giant hassle if you're not staying on property, like getting up early, getting ready to go, Interstate 4, Interstate 4, Interstate 4. But it looks like 1900 Park Fair's supercalifragilistic breakfast. See, even Disney doesn't want to use the whole word supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. Anyway, the supercalifragilistic breakfast covers all the bases, including, of course, Mickey waffles. Personally, I've always enjoyed getting to a buffet when they were switching from breakfast to lunch. Unfortunately, that's not an option at 1900 Park Fair because they have that afternoon Wonderland Tea Party. And if you have a little princess you want to spoil, this is a great place to start. Then you can whisk her away to the Grand Floridian's own Bibbidi Boppity Boutique, then top it all off with Cinderella's Happily Ever After dinner at 1900 Park Fair. You'll win the Best Parent Award instantly. Make sure to take plenty of pictures because she probably won't remember when she's older, and these will be great to display on her wedding day. Luckily for me, my baby girl spent her early years in Snow White dress, only to trade it in for a hockey uniform in her teens. I was fully prepared to eat an acceptable food here, but it was really pretty good. Rumor has it that the salmon is really good. I just don't care for fish. See, my dad had a boat when I was a kid, and our freezer was always full of fish, so I think I'd rather eat a hot dog. Anyway, they do have a pretty extensive list of adult beverages, but as with many Disney restaurants, dessert is the best thing going at 1900 Park Fair. And their small finger size means you can try a bunch of them. Usually, when reviewers say the character encounters alone are worth the price, it means the food is kind of a letdown. But here, it's really pretty good. But the character encounters alone are worth the price. As far as a recommendation, you should try 1900 Park Fair. The characters alone are worth the price, but the food's pretty good too. Even though they don't have the corn dogs on a stick or the fried Oreos that you've come to know and love on the Jersey Boardwalk. Now, here's where we break it down and rate 1900 Park Fair. I'll be looking at 4 categories: atmosphere, food, accessibility for all you wheelchair users, and value. We'll give it a rating from 1 glass slipper to 4, and let you know if it's worth the trip. So, let's start with the atmosphere. 1900 Park Fair is pretty enough and interesting enough. The carved merry-go-round animals even have plaques to let you know who created them. And if it wasn't for the fact that I'm from the Jersey Shore, I would probably equate the decor with Mary Poppins when they go on the carousel. But I am from the Jersey Shore. The only way I can ding it is that it's loud. I can't imagine how loud it would be if it wasn't carpeted. But really, it's a great place for your little princess, so we'll give it 3 out of 4 glass slippers. As for the food itself, well, it's pretty good. It probably doesn't compare to Victoria & Albert's or Artist Point before they ruined it. But for a buffet, it's pretty good, so we're going to give it a 3 out of 4 slippers. Accessibility is always hit or miss when there are chairs in the aisle. It's up to guests to pull their chairs in. Many do not. My wheelchair is kind of big, so I was able to scoot down the aisles with no problem. Keith pulled a chair away so I could scooch into the table. It didn't appear anyone had any problems getting behind me. Each of the characters hunched down to get into the photos with me without me saying anything. The only problem I encountered was crossing the room to get to the buffet, but Jean got my food for me. We've been married long enough, she knows what I like, so with that, we'll give it a 3 out of 4 glass slippers. Now, what I'm going to do next may sound weird, but I'm going to give 1900 Park Fair the cherished 4 glass slipper rating for value. Even though each of the 3 other categories rated 3, value is its own separate category. And at a place where one of the cheapest snacks, popcorn, costs $8.50, and way more if you get it with one of those cheap plastic buckets, paying only $55 for an all-you-care-to-eat buffet with good food and excellent character interactions, it really is a good value. So yeah, along with Lady Tremaine, I'm going to go ahead and recommend 1900 Park Fair for you as a place to at least do dinner if you don't do the breakfast buffet or even the tea party. But dinner's really good, and the character interactions alone are worth the price. you agree or disagree with this review, let Emmy know in the comments below. If you did like this video, why don't you go ahead and give it a big thumbs up. That way, I know you care and you're interested in seeing more. If you want to make sure that you see more of this type of video, all you have to do is subscribe, and it's free. All you have to do is hit the red subscribe button below. But remember, when you do subscribe, don't forget to click on that bell icon. That way, you'll know the next time I upload a video. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.